Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JZ Courtside, coming at y'all today on Tuesday, June 23rd. Ladies and gents, short intro. I wasn't supposed to be here today. As you guys know, the off-season schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we got a lot to cover today. We have a lot. So let's just get right into it. Podcast listeners, leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, YouTube, be sure to drop some likes, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Twitch chat, you guys know y'all got the easiest job in the whole entire world. Just sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, an energy drink, and enjoy the show. Let's talk about it, y'all. I'm not going to say anything new that y'all don't already know. Giannis Antetokounmpo is now a member of the Miami Heat. That's right. The trade was just a 1-to-1 team. It was straight up the Bucks to the Miami Heat. And of course, I got my Giannis Antetokounmpo jersey. Let's go through every fine detail. Talk about the good and the bad for both teams. And then we'll talk about how this trade isn't even done. Now, of course, we are talking about a bunch of other things today, like Dusty May joining the Mavs for head coach, Trae Young extending, Dosunmu, Julius Randle. We're talking about all of it. But we got to start with Giannis. The Milwaukee Bucks traded their franchise icon, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Yakachonis, 3 first-round picks, including number 13, and 1 pick swap plus 1 second-rounder. So, in case you guys don't know, I go live 30 minutes before I do these podcasts. So I've already talked to my community quite a bit about this trade and my thoughts on it, right? Now, immediately, I got to just say this for everybody, all right? If I were the GM of the Miami Heat, if I was Pat Riley, I would do this trade 10 times out of 10. I would. I don't think there's a clear-cut winner, but I always lean to the team that gets the best player, the significantly best player, wins the trade. Unfortunately for this trade, I'm unsure about how to quite feel about it. The Miami Heat still have 5 open roster spots with just $18 million to play with this summer. Mind you, Andrew Wiggins is on a player option for $30 million. If Wiggins picks up that $30 million player option, you're in trouble money-wise, as if you weren't in trouble already. Norman Powell is a free agent. What do you do about him? You're going to need to be able to move Jovic. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to re-sign Norman Powell. With only $18 million to play with this summer, and you need 5 guys, you're starting to enter the territory of needing vet minimum guys. Unless you can somehow make more moves around this roster, your bench, and I know I don't typically agree with Twitter or TikTok or anything. I don't really do it. I don't do that. But for this, I have to. When you look at this team and you see the bench and you see the lack of depth, as much as I love the starting lineup, I cannot help but think depth wins championships now. Look at the last 10 years of champions. Depth always wins out. Again, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a top 3 player in the NBA. Healthy. Because I would like to remind y'all, Giannis has not played. Sorry, let me reword this better. Giannis has played 1 season with 70 games played in the last 8 years. One. That's not good. In fact, last year, Giannis had 2 calf strains. So I'm going to get this out of the way immediately, and then we're not going to talk about it again. If Giannis is healthy, I believe the Miami Heat could be a 3 seed in the East. Which just remind y'all, the Knicks just won as the 3rd seed. I believe the Miami Heat, if Giannis is fully healthy, they can be a 3 seed in the East. Now, this is way too early of a prediction. They still have way more moves to make. But the starting lineup looks to be set so long as they can bring Norman Powell back and try to extend Andrew Wiggins' contract a few years. The starting lineup looks fun. I'm sure you guys have already seen it. The starting lineup is Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell if they can get the re-sign, Andrew Wiggins if they can stretch his contract, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bam Adebayo. And mind you, they got Bobby Portis, right? So all in all, what I have to say about this trade, I'm just going to get the injury talk out of the way immediately. If Giannis has injuries and struggles with that calf strain like he did twice last year, the Miami Heat lose this trade. They lose this trade every day of the week. This team is a bottom 5 team in the East without Giannis playing. And I just need to remind you, he has only played one season with 70 games in the last 8 years. And I do want to remind all of you, the Milwaukee Bucks team that won that championship, that was a star-studded team. You had Brook Lopez in his third prime. You had Drew Holiday, the best defending guard in the entire NBA. You had Chris Middleton, who was arguably the best second option in the last 20 years of champions. They need another ball handler. They need more competent players off the bench. They need so much more, and they only have $18 million to play with. Realistically speaking, they might not be able to keep Norman Powell if they want to get better. But just for reference, chat, because I know money, it's a boring conversation, but just for reference, with $18 million, right? They don't even have money to sign the likes of Luke Kennard, the Nard Dog. They don't even have the money to sign a guy like that. So, Heat fans, should you be excited? Absolutely. You guys are better. Do I think that this team is competent enough to win a championship? Not currently. But they're not done yet. They're not done yet at all. I Carter, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very much. Veteran minimum is about $2 million. So if you need 5 players at vet minimum, that already puts you at $10 million. And that's 5 vet minimum players. Do you genuinely believe that any team can win a championship with 5 vet minimum players, especially a part of the rotation? So, Heat fans, I would like to say again, you should be excited. You should be very, very excited. Actually, you are. Vet minimum deals do not count towards. Is it the second apron or is it just cap? I think it's just cap. Let's get more in depth about this trade, okay? Now, I want to give a shout out to my biggest Heat fan there is, Beezy. Shout out Beezy in the Twitch chat. Beezy is, when I say he's my biggest Heat fan, he's also the most delusional Heat fan I've ever known. In fact, I've had to ban him on multiple occasions because at most points in time, I could not speak basketball with him with how brain dead biased he was towards the Miami Heat. So, of course, as soon as I saw this trade, I thought of Beezy. I'm thinking, what's he saying right now? What's he saying? And I looked back in my Discord, and he was hype as hell at 1 a.m. I was asleep, and I know he's going crazy. I know he thinks they won the championship already. He's already thinking of the ring on their finger, right? What I'm going to say, though, is he also said the Heat would be a 3rd seed this past season. That's who Beezy is. As a person, as a Heat fan. He said the Miami Heat were a 3rd seed last year. That's what he said. Not just that. I would like to make another thing that Beezy said. Beezy said that if he was building a team, he would take Bam Adebayo over Cade Cunningham. So I need to regurgitate this. I need to reiterate this. And I don't mean to sound redundant when I say this. If my NBA fans who are hanging out in my Discord server, in my Twitch stream, I need to warn you immediately. If you see a message from Beezy in my Discord or Twitch stream, he is taking Bam Adebayo to build a team over Cade Cunningham. And he said the Miami Heat last year were the 3rd seed. I just got to clear the air real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about the remaining of this trade. I just told you what I hate about this trade for the Miami Heat. Giannis's lack of health. Giannis's lack of being a leader in the playoffs because he's won 1 playoff series in the last 5 years. 1 playoff series in the last 5 years. Giannis has also had 2 calf strains last year and has not played more than 1 season in the last 8 years of 70 games in a year. He's been hurt every single time they made the playoffs, and he's been hurt every time they missed the playoffs. They have no money to spend on players. They have no bench depth. they still need to worry about bringing Norman Powell back. That's everything I hate about this trade. Let me tell you everything I love about this trade. All right, now let's move on to the Bucks. No, I'm kidding. What I love about this trade is that you just got arguably the best player in the NBA on your team. That's what Miami just did, okay? Let's pretend injuries don't exist. Let's pretend that Joel Embiid is a top 3 center of all time because injuries never existed. Let's pretend injuries don't exist. I'm turning fatigue off on 2K, and I'm going 82-0 and 16-0 in the playoffs. Flat out, straight up. This team, this starting lineup moves me. You guys know me. If you've watched me at all throughout this season, there's one thing I love about basketball, and that's good D. I love some good D. I do. Nothing gets me harder than, all right. Nothing gets me more excited. I love defense. Defense in basketball just go hand in hand. I'm a Pistons fan. I love the Magic because of their defense. I like the Thunder because of their defense. I love the Knicks in the finals because of their defense. Nothing gets me more hype than good defense. And what Miami has in this lineup is some of the best 3-and-D players in the entire association, and I won't be told otherwise. Let's go ahead and look at, because all I see on TikTok are brain dead idiots saying, there's no spacing. What's stopping this team? Spacing. Shut the hell up. You don't know anything about basketball. You don't watch the NBA. You don't watch Miami Heat. Andrew Wiggins shot 41.5% from 3 last year. I got to repeat myself. Andrew Wiggins shot 41.5% from 3 last year. Sharp freaking shooter. Let's go ahead. Bam Adebayo, I understand. He shot 31%, 32% if you round up. He shot 32% from 3. Let's go ahead and look at some more guys. Davion Mitchell, he shot 40% from 3. He shot 40% from 3. All right? 40%. So you got 41.5%. You got 40%. And let's just look at the guy if they can bring him back as well. Norman Powell, 38% if they can bring him back. And what people aren't talking about enough are the people they kept. The players they kept. Myron Gardner, love that guy. How did they keep Myron Gardner? You would think that that's just a throw-in. I love Myron Gardner. And if you watch Miami basketball, you know some of these guys that Miami just brings from LA Fitness, and then suddenly they turn into actual rotational guys that can be good for only the Miami Heat. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, they fooled a lot of players. They're only got their powers when they talk about when they play for the Miami Heat. Myron Gardner, 41% from 3, 48% from the field. Guys, I've watched so much basketball this past year, more basketball than any person should care to admit. And then they kept the main guy who I think is truly the X factor to this team. Go look up Miami's record when Pele Larson was injected into the starting lineup. Pele Larson doesn't even have the respect from StatMuse yet. Doesn't even have the respect. There's no picture of him here. No picture at all. He averaged 11.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 32% from 3. He needs to work on that. But 50% from the field. And mind you, there were games where he wouldn't even get any playing time. You guys know Eric Spoelstra. Y'all know Eric Spoelstra, right? He is super stubborn. He is stubborn. He is super, what's the word? Hard-headed when it comes to trying new guys. He is. But once he does, and once he gives them the opportunity, Pele Larson, I can't wait for next May or April, wherever. Next May. I'll say May. Next May, when people are saying, who the hell is Pele Larson and why is he 5 for 6 from 3? Who the hell is Myron Gardner and why does he have 32 points? Genuinely. So I told you guys what I hate about this trade for Miami, and I hate a lot of things, but I can't help but think this team fully healthy, fatigue turned off, that starting lineup is arguably one of my favorite starting lineups in the entire NBA. You have shooting, you have ball handling, you have rim pressure, you have the ability to stretch the floor, which Giannis hasn't had in years, and you have a guy that scored 83 points in a game last year. So, Heat fans, I told you what I hate about this. I am now telling you what I love about this. Does the hate outweigh the love? Does the love outweigh the hate? I'll let you guys decide that. But for me, I would do this trade 10 times out of 10 if I was the Bucks, and 10 times out of 10 if I was the Heat, because what you just got is a 2-time MVP, I believe a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, correct me if I'm wrong, a Finals MVP, Most Improved Player. I don't even know how many time All-Star. How many time All-Star? Why does StatMuse not tell you how many times they've been? That's stupid. I'm assuming out of 13 years, I'm assuming what, 8? 8-time All-Star, maybe 8. I'm not sure. I think like 8. Yes, Miami did give up their pick as well as 2 more picks in the late future. He's a 10-time All-Star. Shout out Giannis. Also, I got my Giannis jersey. Where's my Giannis hat? It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Listen, shout out Giannis. He got what he want. Shout out the Heat. You got arguably best player in the entire association. I pray that health is on your side. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out the Miami Heat. And, you know, my way too early prediction, and I don't want this to cloud anybody's, like, what their thoughts are, right? But my way too early prediction for the Miami Heat, before they've made more moves for the rest of the summer, because they still need 5 guys, my way too early prediction is between the 4 seed and the 6 seed, because I'm going to assume that Giannis is going to miss 20 games. He always misses 20 games. So I'm going to make the early prediction, way too early prediction. And obviously we'll do our predictions later on into the offseason once more trades and free agents and draft happens. But my way too early prediction, which is probably going to change 3 more times this summer, is between a 4 and 6 seed. That's my honest prediction. If Giannis is healthy, I think they can get the 4th or maybe even 3rd seed. But Giannis, there's still so much more this team needs to do. Let's go ahead and talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next trade. No, I'm kidding. Bucks fans, chill out. I'm still talking about y'all. Don't worry. Hey, shout out to the guys that are leaving the TikTok as well, that are coming through to the Twitch stream. Guys, there's 300 of y'all over there on the TikTok. I'd love to see y'all come through. I'm telling y'all, there's so much to talk about. We do our podcast 3 days a week during the summer, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But because of this Giannis trade, I had to throw in this stream on Tuesday morning as well. So guys, be sure, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will personally reach into my pocket and gift you a $6 subscription so you do not get ads on Twitch. Be sure to join our Discord server as well. We are hosting a watch party for the NBA draft tonight. So be sure to join the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on the Purple app. The link is in my bio. I hope to see you guys come through. And yes, Lambie, I do agree. If they make the play in somehow, yes, Spo will be gone. But there's no point in even discussing that right now. Actually, no, they don't fire coaches. List Claim, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. Guys, be sure to come through to the Twitch. I'm shouting out everybody that comes through here and drops a follow. Let's go ahead and talk about the Bucks side, all right? So the Bucks, they got Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Yakichonis, 3 first-round picks, including the 13th pick, 1 pick swap, and 1 second rounder. So the very interesting aspect about this trade is that it's not done yet either. It's not done. So with this trade, right? With this trade, it can't be officially official until July 6th. So it's a 1-to-1 move, but both the Heat and Bucks will execute the deal on July 6th, which leaves the framework open to see if there are opportunities to expand this trade. Okay, so for all my Bucks fans thinking, why the hell do we need Tyler Hero? Why do we want that? Well, you guys do have a lot of guards. You do. You got Ryan Rollins, Tyler Hero, AJ Green, Kuzma, but he's sort of a forward tweener. You guys got a lot of guys. So you could trade Tyler Hero. I'm not talking about draft right now, but yeah, shout out to them. Yes, sir. Thank you for the follow as well on Twitch. I appreciate you very much. They got the hometown hero who's lived like 15 minutes away from Milwaukee. Can they move Tyler Hero? Yes, they can. My issue, okay, they want me to, okay, I guess they want me to name more guards for the Milwaukee Bucks. Off the dome, I'm only thinking of Ryan Rollins, Tyler Hero, and AJ Green. That's 3 guards that I just named. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the roster because this guy's a TikTok viewer. I think they waived Cole Anthony. Gary Harris, he was getting a lot of PT this year. Let's see. Cormac Ryan, he was getting PT near the end of this year. Mark Sears, they waived Cam Thomas. They still have Gary Trent Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr. So yeah, they got way too many guards. Way too many. Amir Coffey. Yeah, they got way too many guards. So as I said, let's go ahead and move on. Tyler Hero, and what I believe he can bring to the table. He's a great player. Does he have injuries? Yes. Is he injury prone? Absolutely. My biggest issue with them is that they are not going to just willingly give up Tyler Hero. They're not. There's no way they're going to. Because when you think about it, when you truly think about it, Tyler Hero is on an expiring deal. $30 million expiring. So they don't need to. They don't need to get rid of Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is white. He'll sell tickets. He will. With all due respect, he will sell tickets in Milwaukee. Wisconsin, get out of here. Come on. He will sell tickets, especially because he's from there. So if they need to sell tickets, I think Tyler Hero could help. He's white. He's a good basketball player. He's not bad. And on top of that, why trade him when you can just let him expire? So they will only trade Hero if they can win that trade. They're not going to lose that trade. Somebody in the TikTok said, "You lost me at he's white." I mean, I'm sorry to lose you, but he is. I'm sorry to break it to you. So for my Pistons fans that are out here thinking maybe they can still get Tyler Hero, you can. But the Bucks are going to be way more stingy than the Miami Heat were. The Bucks don't need to get rid of him. He's a great offensive player. Is defensively, sure, he's bad. Health-wise, sure, he's bad. But when you truly talk about Tyler Hero and what he's capable of, he'll sell you tickets. He's a good player. Seems like a good guy. And all in all, they're not going to rush to trade him. So Pistons fans, if they want Stu and Ron, tell them to go to hell. You don't need it. TikTok is telling me you don't know ball. I love when TikTok tells me that. I adore when TikTok, it's so fucking funny when they tell me that, because I quite literally know more ball than anybody watching in here combined. Respectfully, of course. I have watched such a disgusting amount of basketball this past year. But for my Pistons fans, you do not want to trade Stu and Ron. If it's Stu or Ron, you're cool with it. But you do not want to trade both of your two guys that are crucial in many trades around the NBA. So we got to continue talk. Is Tyler Hero from Wisconsin? I said he's not. And now they're saying I don't know ball because I don't know where Tyler Hero is from. Tyler Hero from. Let's see where he's from. Where is he from? Okay. Where is Tyler Hero from? Let's see where he's from. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I don't know ball because I know that. You just can't win with TikTok. You just can't win. This TikTok said this shows that you don't know ball. He's from Milwaukee. Are you? You know what, TikTok, you're getting ignored. If you guys want to talk to me and talk to my community, come through to the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Hey, shout out Mac for coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you, my baby. Thank you. So now that I've proved that I know ball because of where Tyler Hero is from, how does that dictate how you know ball? And anyways, I got it right. So the Bucks aren't going to just willingly give him up. They're not. We all know they're not. So the Bucks are going to try to milk this trade as much as possible, and I don't blame them. Shout out the Bucks. I think they got a great package in this trade. I'm not mad at all. If I was a Bucks fan, I'd be happy we finally got rid of Giannis. As much as it stings that you just lost the guy that won your first championship since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the early 70s, as much as it sucks, all the Bucks fans I know, they're happy this is finally over. It's been dangling over the team. It's been a dark cloud over this team for so long. I'd be very, very happy to know that Giannis is gone as a Bucks fan. And you got a good package out of it. You got a really good package out of it. And I remember, oh my God, do you guys remember that episode I did of making bold takes? Do you guys remember that? Do y'all remember that? I said my bold take this offseason is that Giannis is going to be traded to the Heat. And that was before the Heat were even involved in the conversations. That's what I said during my bold take stream. When did I say that? 6 months ago? It was in the middle of the season. And I said that was my hot take. I guess I got it right. Shout out me. I think the Bucks got a great package. And of course, you guys are coming in and saying, how do you feel about the Heat fit? I just talked about the Heat fit for 20 minutes. So if you want to check out this episode, we will be posting it on YouTube on Jay-Z Courtside, as well as the Spotify and Apple Jay-Z Courtside. All right. Jalen, thank you for the follow on Twitch. That's all I pretty much have, unless you guys have any extra notes in the Twitch chat that you want to remind me of. Oh, actually, wait, I do have one piece of notes worth talking about. I do have one. It's not a good one. The Celtics reportedly aggressively pursued Giannis, offering Milwaukee a package featuring 2024 Finals MVP Jaylen Brown. They should have Twitch streamer in front of there, and 2 first-round picks. The Bucks seriously negotiated with 2 finalists in recent weeks, Miami and Boston, which were both on Antetokounmpo's list of preferred destinations. So, do we want to talk about what Jaylen Brown's going to be saying now and how he's going to be behaving? Listen, y'all, Jaylen Brown is one of the most sensitive stars in the NBA. I would hate to be a Celtics fan right now because this is just growing into some really uncomfortable territory. This is the same guy who won Finals MVP, who didn't deserve Finals MVP 2 years ago. This is the same guy that said he enjoyed this season that just happened the most in his entire NBA career. Listen, y'all. Tatum, I think we all know, he's a pretty sensitive and even keel guy. Jaylen Brown's the complete polar opposite. Jaylen Brown just wants to put the ball in the basket. So as far as that goes, I'm already seeing some dysfunction on this roster. So we'll see what this means for the Celtics. We'll see what this means for the Celtics team. Do I think that Jaylen Brown is going to request a trade? No. Do I think that they're going to trade Jaylen Brown? No. The Celtics did their due diligence and they reached out to a generational player. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. We'll see if Jaylen Brown holds a grudge, though. All right, guys. That's it with a Giannis trade. And can I just take a big sigh that we all can? Apparently, I just needed to crash out on stream yesterday about Giannis Antetokounmpo for him to get traded. So I'm finally happy that it's over. Heat fans, rejoice. Bucks fans, rejoice. The Giannis trade is done. And I see the questions that you guys are asking right now on the Twitch stream, and I love that you guys are asking them. I answered all of them already. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing on our agenda. Julius Randle. That's right. Julius Randle was traded to the Brooklyn Nets. So, Minnesota is sending Julius Randle and the number 28 pick in the NBA draft, which was our pick, just so everyone's clear. That was Detroit's pick, and we took their 21st pick. So they're trading the pick that we gave them, Julius Randle, to the Brooklyn Nets, Jesus, in a 3-team trade that sends Nick Claxton to the Chicago Bulls. The Timberwolves will acquire Brooklyn's number 33 pick for Randle and number 28. Now, first of all, let me just get this out of the way because I don't have much to say about it. Shout out to Nick Claxton. Shout out to my Bulls. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls for this trade. The Timberwolves didn't want to pick up another contract, and they just called the Bulls up and said, "Hey, we heard that you need a big man. Do you want this return?" And the GM had the easiest job in the whole world and said, "What, for free?" And they said, "Yeah." They said, "Okay." And now they got Nick Claxton, and Nick Claxton's a good player. Shout out Nick Claxton. He's in Chicago now. They're gonna suck. They're gonna be one of the worst teams in the NBA. But at least they got their big. They got their big. So now I see a lot of people in the TikTok saying, what? Damn, Wolves just got worse. Listen, y'all. Julius Randle had 3 points in an elimination game. Julius Randle is not a good basketball player. Like, he's an 82 game player. He's not a 16 game player. He's not. He's not good in the playoffs. He had a good first 2 series with the Timberwolves last season, and he's been downhill ever since. There's what we call an 82 game season player and a 16 game season player. And I think it's all safe to finally say that the New York Knicks won the trade. It's safe to finally say it. I mean, you could have said it when the Knicks won the championship, but if you need more fuel to the fire, the Knicks won this trade. They did. I'm being told that I don't know basketball and these little kids don't know anything. Thank you, Gabriel Gonzalez. I appreciate your opinions in the TikTok stream. If you want to talk to me and talk to the rest of my community, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut. I love when everybody says, I don't know basketball, but they're watching me speak basketball. I love it. I love it so much. In fact, I bleed basketball, bro. I know I hate to toot my own horn, but I know too much about basketball. Too much. Come to the Twitch stream. Stop talking with those idiots. Garfield, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Julius Randle is going to the Nets, and that's basically a death sentence. With all due respect, it is. He just got extended, and now he's getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets. So the Brooklyn Nets, and I hate saying this, you have bad rookies, right? They have bad rookies. And now they have Michael Porter Jr. Sorry, Michael Ball Ends Here Porter Jr. and Julius Ball Ends Here Randle. Did the Nets win this? I don't know. They picked up a big contract from Julius Randle. Did they win this? I don't think so. I think the biggest winner in this trade is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They literally made this trade for cap space. I need you to hear me one more time. They traded Julius Randle for not a player, for cap space. They traded him for cap space because they said, you are not good enough. And now we're hearing word that Naz Reid is going to be starting at the 4 spot. Okay. Who's going to be your backup center? They saved a lot of money in cap. A lot of money in cap. In fact, they saved so much, they can go get, Jesus, don't hate me when I say this, Ja Morant. Or they can go get Kyrie Irving. Do I think that they have enough to convince the Dallas Mavericks to go and get Kyrie Irving? I don't know. Do I think they have enough for Ja Morant? Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, I called this like 9 months ago. I'm so sorry to say this. Ja Morant on this team. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This Ant is going to be gone soon. It's been rumored that Ant is already frustrated. He's been frustrated when they traded Cat. I know they said they aren't aiming for Ja, but I hope I don't see Ja Morant on this team. I hope they need a point guard. They've needed a point guard all along. They need a point guard. How many point guards are out there that you could truly see playing well? It's just Kyrie, in my opinion, as far as big point guards. Now, I need you to remember this. I don't want to. I added a lower third into this. Let's just move on from Julius Randle. Let's go ahead and talk about this. I'm sorry, Julius. Enjoy Brooklyn, man. Oh, that's the wrong button. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Ayo Dosunmu went ahead and signed a 5-year, $112 million deal with the Wolves. So let's talk about this now. Ayo is going to be starting next year. He's going to be starting. Dante DiVincenzo's out with his Achilles injury. So Ayo is going to be starting. This is a steal. This is a great deal. Shout out Minnesota. You guys just got a great player in here. That's a great player. You got Ayo. The projected starting lineup is Ayo, Ant, McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert. So that starting lineup, I'm moved by it. Is Ayo enough of a playmaker? I'm unsure. But $22.5 million a year, that's a steal. That's a steal. Shout out to Jen. Thank you so much for following the Twitch stream, bro. Welcome. Be sure to join the Discord, guys. So, do I think they still need a point guard? Absolutely. They still need one. The team is just not deep enough, man. I love JC on the Wolves. I love Terrence Shannon Jr. I love both those guys. They're just not deep enough. They're just not deep enough. Crypto, you've been telling me you're coming to the Twitch for 3 months now, bro. They're just not deep enough. They need big men off the bench, and right now they don't have any. If you want my honest opinion, they're probably going to go for a guy like Andre Drummond. I really feel like they're going to go for a guy like Andre Drummond because there's not many big men that are free agents right now. They're going to go for a big man. They're going to need one. Bones Highlands is a free agent, so I'm curious. They're probably, I don't know if they're going to bring him back. I think they might just gamble and roll with JC and Terrence Shannon Jr. I don't know if they're going to go back to Bones Highland. I think Bones can be a good like spark plug for a lot of teams, but yeah, that's an easy minimum that you can get. But does he deserve more than a minimum? I don't know. He might deserve like a $7 or $8 million deal, to be completely honest with everybody. Bones was pretty good this year, and they don't need Bones. They don't need Bones anymore. They got TSJ and they got JC. So shout out to the Timberwolves. I love the moves they're making. My only fear is how can you continue to make a competent team around Anthony Edwards? That's my only issue. Um, Now I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'm going to say it again. I think Anthony Edwards is the most overrated player in the NBA, and that's not to say he's not good. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys would know by all the context in which I say that. I think Ant is the most overrated player in the NBA. Again, he's one of the best scorers in the league. He is. He's one of the best scorers in the league. He's not bad. Please do not think I'm saying Anthony Edwards is bad, okay? Now, Gabriel Gonzalez, you're in the TikTok stream, okay? And you just told me he plays both sides better than anybody in the league, okay? Time to teach you a little lesson. Anthony Edwards' defense last year dropped to the bottom 20 player in the NBA. Anthony Edwards' defense last year dropped off so much. It was the biggest drop off by any shooting guard in NBA history since Mark Aguirre in the 80s when he joined the Bad Boys. And if you want to claim he was hurt, yes, he was hurt, but he just had the biggest drop off even prior to that. For the first 3 months of the year, he was playing his worst defense he ever has in his entire career. And then tell me he doesn't care about the regular season. Okay, sure. So he's not the best two-way player in the NBA. He's not. And I need you guys to understand, Gabriel and everybody else in the TikTok, you guys are getting very hostile with me and insulting me and getting very upset. Remember, I still have Anthony Edwards in my top 10 players in the league. I do. I still have Anthony Edwards as being one of the best scorers in the entire NBA. Okay. My only issue with Anthony Edwards is that if he is not scoring, and this was the case all year long, and all of my non-biased fans in me here, I got Anthony Edwards shoes, y'all. I'll go grab them. They're downstairs. I'll go grab them. I need you all to hear me. Please hear me well. I'm not going to say this again, but I said it all year long. If you guys have watched me at all this year, you've heard me say this. If Anthony Edwards is not scoring the ball, he is a net negative on this basketball team. He is. This year, he was a negative if he was not scoring the ball. Flat out, plain and simple. He was not playmaking at all this year. And if he wasn't scoring, he was bringing nothing to the table this year. I appreciate you guys for agreeing to that. Now, that is not me saying he is bad. He is the best shooting guard in the league. Thank you, Jaden. He is the best shooting guard in the league. But I got to repeat this again. Whether he was hurt or not, this season, if he was not scoring the ball, there was no reason for him to be on the court. He was a negative on defense. He was very bad defensively, actually. And it made Jaden McDaniels look worse defensively because he had to cover his assignment as well. Do I think this is going to be the same case as next year? Probably not. He was a good defensive player the previous years. This year, I think most of us can agree. As far as two-way guys go, I'm going to move off this topic in a second. I think the best two-way player in the NBA this year was Cade Cunningham. He was first-team All-NBA. And Cade is actually the best shot-blocking guard in the entire association. And obviously we know what he does on offense. I think this season, I'm not saying in the league. Yeah, obviously Wemby, obviously. Yeah, Wemby doesn't count, bro. Yeah, Wemby does not count. Come on, yo. Come on. It's like me. No, come on. We all know Wemby does not count. Obviously, anybody not named Wemby, all right? Because he gets 15 dunks a game, all right? No, the Aaron Wiggins trade is not more important than the Giannis trade. No, it's not. But it's a fun conversation to have, y'all. Yeah, but the guy who led the league in blocks for a guard this year was Cade Cunningham. Please get hip with the times. But yeah, my point guard is not a liability defensively. Yeah, Aaron Wiggins did save basketball. He definitely did. Thank you guys for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I'd love for you guys to come through, especially you, Gabriel. I'd love for you guys to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I appreciate you all so very much. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guy. Again, the Minnesota Timberwolves are making some big moves here. I love what they're doing, especially bringing Io in. I think it's a great move. I think my biggest issue right now is, are you going to get a point guard? You know what? I also got to speak about Cade real quick because you guys want to talk about it because you said Cade needed help. Just real quick. Cade Cunningham's going into his 6th year, okay? He's going into his 6th year. And his best second player, his best number 2 guy has been Bojan Bogdanovic. I need you guys to hear me, and I don't want to hear Jalen Duren. Bojan Bogdanovic averaged 21.6 points with the Pistons. We are entering year 6, and Cade Cunningham's best teammate in his career is Bojan Bogdanovic. I need you to hear me one more time. His best teammate in his entire career is Bojan Bogdanovic. Cade Cunningham. Nikki and Alan, thank you to both so much for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I appreciate it. That's no disrespect to Bojan Bogdanovic, but that's Cade Cunningham's second best player that he's ever had on his team. It's either him or Tobias Harris. So, yeah, that's my life. That's my life. We have not talked about the Mavs yet. Let's go ahead and move on. Shout out again to Ayo Dosunmu. Shout out to the Wolves. I love what you guys are building over there. I pray to God that you guys can get a point guard. I pray. Let's go ahead and move on. Trae Young, chat. Ice Trae. And I told you guys, everybody was freaking out saying that he was leaving. That he was leaving, he was gone. He was leaving, he was gone. And I told all of you guys before the offseason even started. I told you all while the season was still going on that Trae Young was going to deny his player option. As soon as Trae denied his player option, everybody was in here saying, Trae Young's gone. Trae Young's gone. No, he's not. No, he's not. I said he was going to deny it and get a pay cut and just extend it for years. And guess what? They gave him a raise. So even though I was right, I was wrong. Even though I was right, I was wrong. I said that he would sign for a longer amount of years and just take a slight pay cut. No, he denied his player option and got extended, but got a raise. He got a raise, ladies and gentlemen, a raise. He signed a 4-year, $212 million deal with the Washington Wizards with a player option in year 4. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what that is broken down? He's going to be making $47 million, which, to be fair, is a pay cut to this year. He denied $48 million. Okay. He denied $48 million, and now he's only making $47.3. But that's where it ends, because next year he's making $51.1 million. In 2029, he's going to be making $55 million. And in 2030, ladies and gentlemen, in 2030, the year 2030, that's 5 years after Black Ops 2 was set in time, he's going to be making $60 million. I need to repeat myself because I feel like a lot of people forget. I can't disrespect one of them now. Do you guys know who the 2 worst on-ball defenders are in the NBA? I'll give you a hint. One is a champion now. The other just signed a $212 million contract. Jalen Brunson is the second worst on-ball defender according to every defensive metric in the NBA. He's a finals MVP, he's an NBA champion, and now he's hanging up on my wall. The number 1 worst on-ball defender in the entire NBA right now is Ice Trae Young. Trae Young is the worst on-ball defender in the entire NBA. Now, I don't know about you guys. Trae Young always torches the Pistons. Always torches the Pistons. So if you only watch Trae Young versus the Pistons, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Listen, Trae Young is an incredible playmaker. And that's about it. That's about it. His shooting splits have dipped. His shot creation has dipped. His ability to beat the defender on his own, that has abandoned him. He's going to be relying on pick and rolls. He's going to be relying heavily on pick and rolls. If they don't have Anthony Davis, if they don't have Anthony Davis because he's hurt, this is going to be an issue. Okay? This is going to be an issue. So, all in all, is Trae Young a demon? He is. He's still a demon. I think he's still a great player. My issue is lack of effort on the defensive end. He doesn't try anymore. He does not try anymore. You think Luka's bad? You think Brunson's bad? Doesn't matter. Trae is worse than both of those guys. Now, for the Wizards side, if you guys are wondering why would they give him that big of a contract, I'll be honest, it's the Wizards. They need this. They need this. I think Alex Sarr is going to be a great fit as well. I think they have a good young team, especially because he's a mid-range threat. The Wizards have to spend their money. They got to spend their money on somebody. They have to. They have to. Yeah, Brunson tries on defense. That's the big difference. They had to spend their money. Another Trae Young isn't going to walk through the door, so they had to. And I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them. They got the number 1 pick tonight, so we'll see who they add, whether it's DeBansa or Peterson. But they had to give Trae Young his money. Did they need to give him this much money? Yeah, because Trae Young would have left. He would have left. So shout out to the Wizards. Honestly, I'm not mad at them for giving that contract, and I'm not mad at Trae Young for getting this contract. Shout out them. You got Alex Sarr. You're about to have Peterson. Bro, they got so many players on rookie contracts. They had to give their money to somebody. So shout out Trae. Shout out the Wizards. I'm excited to watch the Wizards play this year. I don't know about any of y'all. I'm very excited to watch the Wizards play. I'm very excited. I don't know where he would have. I mean, I think a lot of teams would have threw him the bag, like the Wolves, the Heat. I think a lot of teams would have picked up Trae Young. Not for this amount of money, though. And, I mean, I'll go back to a tale as old as time. Money talks. Money talks. Need I remind you guys about Carmelo Anthony? He could have joined Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer for $77 million in Chicago, and instead he took the $140 million that New York offered him. So at the end of the day, bro, you can't get mad at somebody for chasing their bag. Because if I were them, I would do the same exact thing, bro. Fuck a ring. I want a bag. Seriously. And you would be surprised how many NBA players feel that way. Now, finally, actually, before we talk about the coach, shout out to Mohamed Diarrhea. Shout out Diarrhea, bro. I'm not going to call him that. He's an NBA champion. Shout out Diawara for getting his contract from the New York Knicks. He got a multi-year for over $10 million. They don't have the exact figure yet, but he was the number 51 pick in last year's draft, and they didn't play him a single second in the playoffs. And they stopped playing him in general, like post All-Star break. They didn't want to show anybody the demons that they had on their team. Straight up, you could tell they were purposely not playing Diawara because they didn't want anybody to see how good this guy can be. Do I think Diawara can be a special player? Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's scary. It's scary. I see the young Pascal Siakam comparison so much. He could be very good. He could be very good. I'm excited to see that. He'll definitely get way more PT next year, I think. Now, finally, our final piece of news is Dusty May, former national natty winner Dusty May of the University of Michigan, was awarded the Dallas Mavericks coaching position. He's making the jump to go to pro, and he's going to be working closely with Masai Ujiri. So shout out Dusty May. I know he's trying to dodge all of the illegal tampering with the transfer portal, but shout out Dusty May. I think he's a good coach. I'm excited to see. I love seeing these new coaches get injected into the league. Listen, it's either going to go very poorly or it's going to go very well. I think it's a good move. I'm sick of seeing the same garbage coaches recycle throughout the NBA. We need new blood, and I'm happy to see Dusty May, who just won the Natty with Michigan, get his chance. It's very exciting. So the only team left without a head coach now is the Portland Trailblazers. That's all. It's just the Portland Trailblazers. They're the only team without a coach. They didn't go for Tiago Splitter, which is ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous that they thought that they'd get a cheaper coach than Tiago Splitter. His strength as a coach is, I'd say, defensive coach. He's definitely defensive minded, but he was capable of utilizing his offensive arsenal with the Michigan roster. I'm curious to see how he can work with a heliocentric Cooper Flag team, whether he's playing through Kyrie Irving or Coop. I think it's going to be very fun. He's really good at getting the ball in the best player's hand and getting plays right for them. And I think it's time for the Mavericks to make a risk like that as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to do it for our extra podcast today. We were not supposed to go live today. As you guys know, we are doing during the summer Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I told y'all, pending any big trade, like the Giannis trade, I had to go ahead and talk about everything else that happened yesterday as well with Trae Young, Io, Julius Randle, everything. All right. So, guys, maybe I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I don't know. I'm really running into a difficulty here because I'm working on my documentary and it's taking so fucking long. It's ridiculous. I don't know if we're getting a pod tomorrow. Unless something happens, join our Discord. You will be updated. Typically, our schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Again, that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One more time, our summer schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. It might be different this week because I went live today. So if we don't have anything to talk about tomorrow, maybe I won't see you guys tomorrow. All right? But join our Discord to be notified. Turn on the noties, especially. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review right now. TikTok, drop a follow and come through to the Twitch stream. I see the homie Declips HD who just came through to the Twitch. Thank you for the follow. I'd love to see more of you guys come through to the Twitch stream. TikTok, we're still 150 of all over there, so be sure to come through to the Twitch, the Jay-Z Uncut. Link in my bio. And Twitch chat, be sure to stick around for just one moment. Guys, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, y'all, thank you for watching / listening. And I'll possibly catch you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Love y'all and have a blessed day.